welcome to It Gets Faster Now TV. So I think it's a good day to talk about the route of Rally Finland 2025. The route of Rally Finland 2025 is quite similar to last year. There's only a couple of changes. The biggest one is of course that Ouninpohja is driven on Sunday, and because of that 2 new stages have been added to Saturday. But let's talk about each stage and all those changes in detail. Shakedown is in Ruuhimäki, same as last year. The classic jumps are driven in the opposite direction than usually, and then the ending is driven on these service roads that haven't been used in WRC before, and it concludes on the mega jump. Personally, I think this is the best Rally Finland shakedown. You have the big road, small road, you have jumps, junctions. It's great for spectators and it's great for media, great for VIPs. It's close to Jyväskylä. I hope it stays like this. My only complaint is that the shakedown shouldn't be repeated in the actual rally like they do. Ruuhimäki is also a normal stage. On Thursday, we had the traditional Harju super special stage, a great super special in the city, both on tarmac and gravel. And there's a couple of new things for this year. First of all, the route has been changed slightly. It's due to the renovation of the stadium. And it's not a problem for the stage itself, but the stadium has usually accommodated the VIP guests, so they have to be put somewhere else. So they have taken into use the parking lot of the nearby school. That's a completely new section, so it will be interesting to see how it looks like. And the second update this year is that there's no 2 laps, just 1 lap of the stage. And I used to think that 2 laps is good because you see every car twice, but after being there last year, I changed my opinion. It took an awful long to see all the cars, especially with a good edge release. So Friday, 114 kilometers of special stages, 4 stages run twice, and then Harju from Thursday is repeated. So it's the same concept as last year and basically all the past years. The first stage of Friday and the longest stage of the day is Laukaa at 20 kilometers. Same format as last year. Introduced last year, combining earlier versions together through the small road, which eventually was in quite bad shape, and that's where Esa-Pekka Lappi crashed out. And also we remember that Sami Pajari had 2 small offs on the first run of the stage, which was then quite slippery. And quite a lot of action has happened on the stage. It's quite flat, angular, long straights, fast sections, and then suddenly tight corners, but no jumps. Second stage of the day, Saarikas, has been updated for this year. It was a new stage last year and now it's even newer. Most of the stage has been reversed, the small road sections, and it starts with a brand new part of the big road. And it's a quite tricky stage, quite technical and surprising, and it has a quite interesting character. I would expect something to happen there. Last year we saw Oit Tänak going off and Thierry Neuville going overshooting a junction, Gus Greensmith going off, and keep an eye on this stage. Then we go to Myhimpää, classic stage, fast stage, big road with a lot of jumps. Same version as the 2 previous years, except that it has been shortened a bit from the beginning to allow better parking. So no major changes to that stage, but we remember what happened to Kalle Rovanperä in 2023 on this stage, so it could also be a key stage. And we wrap up Friday with Ruuhimäki, the same version as before. It's a quite classic Ruuhimäki version, quite short stage, and it ends on the quite new section on the arena with the big, huge artificial jump. And we remember last year that Nakamoto Katsuta went off here, and some of the WRC2 drivers as well, and Sami Pajari, the first ever WRC stage win. It's a good pass. Saturday is the longest day of the rally, like usually. 142 kilometers of special stages, and this year again 4 stages repeated as opposed to last year when it was just 3 stages. So as a spectator now you can see the first and the last stage of the loop, so 4 stages altogether. Saturday begins with a new stage, or basically new old stage, Parkkola, a stage title that has been used frequently in the 90s and bit before and after. First third of the stage is familiar from the Surkea and Moxi stages. You have a tiny bit of big road and then a technical small road, fast driven in this direction in 2019 on the Moxi stage. But then we turn to a different direction that hasn't been used in a long time. We have to go all the way back to 2006 on the Vellipohja stage when this big road was used, this part of the big road. Further ending of the stage on a small road is even less used. We have to go back to in the early 2000s on the Parkkola stage to have this road being used. It will be interesting to see a completely new section to the current drivers. Small road will have some big jumps and sudden tight corners. It's also the road where Carlos Sainz crashed in 1991 in the opposite direction. The middle stages of Saturday, Vastila and Päijälä are the same as last year and also the year before. Vastila, all wide, firm, state-maintained road. First it has a little bit more turns, but it's fast-flowing, small jumps, and then the ending is more flat and angular with long straights and single tight turns. And then Päijälä, classic, a lot of jumps and quite fast and technical, and there's many crash places, and then near the end there's a loop of small roads which can get quite rough. And it's also the longest stage of the day. Saturday is concluded with another new old stage, Leustu, which is a familiar title. It comes and goes every now and then, but this year's version is quite different. It's actually totally different to the previous time it was used in 2019. There's basically just a short bit of the same road and in the different direction. So when Leustu used to be a long stage, like over 20 k's, latest versions in past 15 years have used the western parts, and now they're using the eastern parts closer to Jyväskylä. And this direction has been used not so often, and some of the parts never. First, it's quite fast, big roads, just occasional junction turns, no big jumps except for one huge jump we remember from when Novikov jumped with the yellow Citroen. And this year it's the opposite direction, but it's still a huge jump. And soon after that, we go on the smaller roads, still not so slow, but more technical and more narrow and more soft. First of all, there's a huge jump on the small road as well, and then a bit later there's a hairpin left junction, which is something you don't see so often on Rally Finland stages. So I would say it's not the most interesting stage on its own, but then again it's so different, especially during this day, that it makes it interesting. So what do we have left? Sunday, and as we know, it's just 2 runs of the Ouninpohja stage, and it has divided opinions quite a lot because people see it as a bad thing that it's only 2 stages and everybody has to spectate on the same stage. But then again, it's quality over quantity. And after all, it's 47 kilometers of stages, so it's not even that short when we compare past Rally Finland editions. And what better stage for Super Sunday than Ouninpohja? You really have to fight for those points. The stage is shortened for this year's version. It's only the 2 big roads and the Kakarista junction. It's about 23-24 kilometers, and there's the virtual chicane and 2 normal chicanes, just like last year. But it will be really interesting to see Ouninpohja as a power stage when everybody is really pushing to the max. And there should be no tire saving because there's the Super Sunday points, so you have to also do the first pass. And you also need to practice for the power stage. So it will be a really interesting Sunday. All in all, it's a really nice route. When we think of how many classic stages you have, Ouninpohja, Myhinpää, Ruuhimäki, Päijälä, Harju, and it's not that common that all those classic have been included in the rally in the same year. Usually it has been one of them missing. And there's many interesting stages, and there's again some new things on the route, and it's also good for the spectators. So I give some thumbs up for the route, and since we only had like little changes this year, maybe we're going to see bigger changes the following year. So I'm really looking forward to Rally Finland 2025. Thanks for watching, and stay tuned to the channel.